Good evening, everyone. I hope you all can hear me. This is Sister Yaffa. I appreciate you joining me. I think today is Thursday, March the 10th of 2011. I'm not always very masterful at keeping up with what day of the week, month, and sometimes I lose track of the year. But there's a little bit I want to share with you guys, and today is probably going to be the last day that we're going to be covering any of this historic type of subject matter, because we really need to get into the business of resuscitating or resurrecting the American empire so that we can acquire some level of restitution to be stitched together and rebuilt to the best of our capacity. One of the problems that I need to address is the constant, it's an amazement to me how many people are melanin rich, autochthonous American Americans that still have yet to comprehend that there is a major, massive difference between America and the United States. Frequently, there are people that are talking about the damages and the destruction and the occurrences that take place on this landmass and around the world by the military occupation, which is really a foreign invading occupation known as the United States of America, and the of means that they derive their authority from. But the United States derived its authority from America, and then we looked up and they were back under the yoke of the people that they were running from. But too many people that look like me make misstatements that connect the two as if they're one and the same thing. There is a distinct difference between America and the American dynasty or American empire and the United States. I've even heard people say things like, we're not American citizens, we can't be American citizens, we won't be American citizens anymore. There's no such thing as an American citizen. That is an entity that does not exist. You can be a U.S. citizen, United States citizen, but there are no American citizens. You know what I'm saying? There are American people. There's the American country. There's the American landmass, but there is no American citizenry. There is no, at least not yet, American embassy. There are United States embassies. I don't know what a U.S. citizen would really be other than a U.S. citizen, a United States citizen, which many of us are falling into that because we unify and think we're one and the same with the corporate fiction entity that was created about us. But we're not one and the same with it because, again, I'm with the Empress of the Washita. What is the name of here? You've never heard of a United Statian. Every other country that has a name, there's a name for the people that sounds very much like the name of the country. And if this country is called the United States and people are United States citizens or U.S. citizens, there are no United Statians and there are no U.S.ians. So where is here? That's a question that needs to be addressed. Too many people are getting mixed up about that. Now, one of the things I want to cover also is I've spoken to a couple of people, and something about last Thursday's interview had them feeling a certain level of fear or reservation. And I want to say to my people, I am not giving you this information to scare you. This information is to make you aware. If you are aware, then you can prepare. You cannot prepare for a problem and get yourself out of a mess unless you realize that you are in a mess. Too many people think that life is hunky-dory. They have their cars, their SUVs, their little bling-bling, and they think life is good. Well, life is not good. It may be good for them, and no one is saying that you should wrap your every waking moment into the woes and miseries of the world. You can't resolve it. You can't help anybody if you're stressed out and under fear. We cannot be and should not be fearful about what's going on, and the reason that I say that is because our people have more power than they realize. We have more power than you know, and I'm going to get into some of those types of things, if not tonight, then Thursday night. because I want you guys to become aware of the power that you have. Now, there are people and entities that are aware of the power that you have, and they are bent on making absolutely certain that under no circumstances do you ever tap into said power. Now, there is we were talking about the American languages. Someone was asking me earlier about, what were the languages and what have you here, and I said back then they were called American languages. But I still perceive that what they call the Ethiopian language of Amharic, I perceive that was probably Amharic or Amharic. Now remember, Ethiopia, the term, or Ethiopian, the term only means dark or burnt face. ETH always means dark in complexion. That's why when people say things like you're too ethnic, you're coming across as too dark, or that which is too much like dark complexion people. When they talk about morals and ethics, they're talking about the ways of the melanin-rich people. So what I'm saying is this. Back in the day, it was clearly understood that the term European was EUR, which means pale in complexion, and OP means face. Now, it means lots of other things, but this is just the basic getting it together for you. So when you understand that EUR means pale, not EU, because people go, oh, no, EU. No, EU means well or good. EUR means pale. OP means face. That's what European basically meant. Ethiopian, the ETH meant dark complexioned. OP means face. So Ethiopic or Ethiopian means dark complexioned faces. But it is said that the ancient language of the Ethiopians, and by that I'm pretty sure they meant dark complexioned people, was Amharic. Now, this is what I found very interesting about the language known as Amharic. And it's spelled A-M, H like happy, A-R-I-C. I had some sisters several years ago, maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago. They were in the Los Angeles area, and they were a part of some pan-Ethiopian group. I can't think of what it was called. I'm the one with the memory issue, so you don't want to quote me on that, what the name of the organization was. But I think it might have been something like the Pan-Ethiopian Union or something to this effect. Anyway, they went to the huge library in downtown Los Angeles. Downtown Los Angeles has a library that it's relatively big. I mean, there's like a floor for practically everything, and there's a whole section for just foreign languages or languages in general. These sisters went to the library. It was 2 of them, and we were sitting together one day at a particular meeting, and, they may have come to my house. I don't remember how it came up, but basically they were saying they went to the not the law library downtown, but the library downtown, with the one with the little pyramid up on top. They went inside to the language department, and they were looking all over the place for books on Amharic. They looked high and low for these books, and they found everything under the sun, including languages that they have never heard of in this library, but there was nothing at all on Amharic. So they went to the librarian, and they said to the librarian, excuse me, we noticed that there's nothing out here at all on Amharic. Do you guys not have anything on Amharic? Have you ever heard of it? And the librarian basically told them, yes, we've heard of it, and as a matter of fact, we have we have quite an extensive collection on Amharic. And it was like, well, can you show us where it is? Because we don't see it. And she basically told them, the only people that are allowed to see the books on Amharic have to have a special clearance and belong to a special thing to access those books. And they were either in the basement or the attic, somewhere on some other hidden away floor. Now, I submit to you that may be because Amharic, ancient Amharic, not this new stuff that they're teaching people of the so-called Coptic Ethiopians. If you comprehend that a Coptic Ethiopian is nothing more than an Egyptian that has been converted to Christianity. Based on my research, The term Coptic Ethiopian is an Egyptian that has been converted to Christianity, like Moorish and Morisco means a Moor that has been converted to Christianity. So what I'm trying to say is this. This language of very dark complexion-faced people, which I'm sure these people are all over the planet, as we know, something about it has to be buried and hidden away from the people. Now, I perceive it's the type of language, if you can get your hands on it, which you probably can't because, you know, they're masterful at hiding and burying everything that's ours and about us away from us. It's probably one of those languages that melanin-rich people can ask and receive. That's why they have us speaking English, because the language that we speak keeps other people in power and buries our power and hides it away from us. When you speak English, this thing that's like a dual-edged sword that you speak in forked tongue, you try to do things that you think are a good thing and you wind up cursing yourself. For example, when people say, oh, bless you and have a blessed day, they don't